Live streaming is on.
Okay, guys, good morning. Happy Friday. I'm just going to kind of do a review of operations. You can see the addition, subtraction, multiplication um, using fractions. Um, so let's start with an addition one. So let me get this up. So we'll do 12 over 13 plus 3 over 2. Okay, so the first thing I have to do here is find a common denominator. One way, I'm not sure if Casey showed you this, it's a little bit of, it might make you do a little more work at the end, but one thing you can always do, if you multiply the two denominators, so in this case, 13 times 2, you're going to get 26. In this case, that's the least common denominator. So if you did this out, we did the 13, 26, 39, 42. And then if you did 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. We're finally going to get 26. You get it there, and you get it there. So the only downside to this, when you multiply them, sometimes you don't get the smallest number, so you might do some more reducing at the end. But in this case, it worked out, so it's really up to you. You can always do that, but then you might have to do some reducing at the end, or you can just do it the way we just did it. So we've established that 26 is our denominator. So then you're going to do 13 times 2 is 26. Then if we multiply the bottom times 2, it's a multiply the top times 2. And 2 times 13 is 26, and then we're going to have to multiply, so that's 39. Then we do 39 plus 24, that's 59, 63 over 26. Now, it's an improper fraction because the top is bigger than the bottom. So what we're going to have to do is divide the 26 into the 63. It goes 2 times. That's 52. So it's going to be 2 and 11 over 26. Okay. And sometimes you guys, it might, if it's multiple choice, this might be one of the answers. So the first thing you're going to need to do is look and see if 63 over 26 is the answer. If that's the case, you're good. But if you don't see that, then maybe you're going to have to do what I just did and be like, oh, it's an improper fraction, and do a little more work when you divide the denominator into the numerator. Okay, so let's do a subtraction problem. Okay, we're going to do 9 over 3 minus 12 over 5. Okay, once again, like I said, you can always multiply the two denominators. In this case, you're going to get 15. And this one happens to work out too, because if we do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and then do 5, 10, and 15, we get 15 is at least kind of multiple. Okay, so three times 5 is 15. Then we're going to have to multiply 5 times 9, that's 45. And 5 times 3 is 15. So we're going to have to multiply that, and that's going to be 30. Oops, excuse me, I did that backwards. 36. So now we've got 45 minus 36 is 9. So that one would be 9/15. Okay. And in this case, you're going to look at this and be like, well, that can be reduced a little bit more because I know 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 15 5 times. So once again, a couple things you're going to do. You're going to see if 9/15 is one of the answers. If it is, good. If it's not, you're going to be like, well, I'm going to maybe have to do some reducing because I don't see the answer. And you're going to see, well, 3 goes into 9 and 3 goes into 15. You guys, a lot of times it just depends on if you see the answer there or not. And if you do, great. And if you don't, it doesn't mean you got it wrong. You have to look at your fraction and realize this, in this case, 9/15 could be reduced a little bit more. You can take it down to 3/5. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is take the initial answer you got is one of the choices. If it's not, you're going to need to do a little more. Be like, I might have to reduce it, or I might have to convert it from an improper fraction into a proper fraction. And what I mean by that, the improper, like I said, at the top, if we have 23 over 15, that's an improper fraction because the numerator is greater than the denominator. Okay. All right. Now let's do, we'll do a multiplication problem here next. These ones are a little bit easier because you can just do the straight. So if I have 7 over 3 times 13 over 8. The first thing I do when we talked about this is we're going to check to see the cross. 7 and 8, nothing goes into 7 and 8 except 1. So we're going to keep those the same. And the same thing here, we're going to see, is there a number that goes into 3 and 13 evenly? There's not. Okay. So we're just going to do the straight. 7 times 3 is 91. And 3 times 8 is 24. Okay. So a couple things, if you get that answer, couple things. You're going to look at that and say, well, the top, the numerator, is bigger than the denominator, so that's an improper fraction. But if 91/24 is one of your choices, you're good, you're golden. But if it's not, you're going to say, well, that's an improper fraction, and I might have to do a little more work here. And what you would maybe have to do is be like, I'm going to have to put 24 into 91. And 24 goes to 91 3 times, and that's going to be 72. And then there's going to be 19 left over, so it's 3 and 19 over 24. Okay. And then you're like 19/24. I'm not going to have a number that goes in them evenly, so that's reduced as low as it'll go. Okay. So your answer is going to be, it could be this, but if it's not, it's going to be 3 and 19 over 24. Okay. Now let's do a division one here, and then we've covered all four of the operations. I'm going to have, we'll do 37 over 14 divided by 8 over 5. Okay, so a couple things here. We're still going to do the cross. Let me do it in red so you see. Okay, 14 and 8. Hopefully you guys, you realize every even number, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 2 goes into every even number. So I've got 2 even numbers here. So I realize 2 is going to go into both of these. And 2 goes into 8 4 times. And 2 goes into 14 7 times. So that's just giving you some smaller numbers. Okay. So 37 times 4, we do 37 times 4. That's going to be 28, carry the 2. It's 148. And then 7 times, oh, I forgot to invert, you guys. So hold on one sec. Let me back that up. Let me do this again. I forgot to totally invert, and I apologize. So you have 37 over 14 divided by 8 over 5. So what you need to do, we're going to turn this into a multiplication problem, 37 over 14, and then we're going to invert this fraction, so it's going to be 5 over 8. Okay, and now what I've done, now we can't cross multiply because if we go to the 5 and the 8, or 5 and 14, nothing goes into that, just like the 37 and the 8. So then it's just a straight multiplication problem. And you have 37 times 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Carry the 3. 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 3 is 8. And then you have 14 times 8. It's going to be 112. Okay. So first thing you want to do is 185 over 112 your answer. If it is, you're good, but you're going to realize, hey, this is an improper fraction because the top, the 185, is bigger. So what you would do is the 112 goes into 185, and that goes one time, and you're going to subtract. That's 3, and that's 7. And that 73 is going to go over the 112. So it'd be 1 and 73rd over 112. So that would be when you take that improper fraction and make it into a mixed number. Okay. So those are really the 4 things. And the thing I forgot to do, it slipped my mind, I apologize. Whenever you have a division problem here, is you flip the second number and make it a multiplication problem. All right, I'll post a couple worksheets that just has all 4 functions, so you can work on this a little bit more. All right, you guys, have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to start science here in about 15 minutes. Hopefully I'll see some of you that will be reading at 11. If not, have a great weekend and be safe. Okay, bye.